We're trying it again on Rover Sports. We are going live. We are trying it. And here we go. It's not exactly working incredibly well, but good to see everybody here on Rover. And hopefully this will clear up and we could do a stream. So it's good that everybody is here. I see a lot of people like Kid Blue, a lot of friends, so that are here. Tazim Mizrahi, Kid Blue, G-Men 409, and you guys are coming up with unbelievable questions. So yeah, just trying to get everything squared away here. Back live on Rover right now. Doing some Andy Dalton stuff, Andy Dalton Sweepstakes, and I might just go live on StreamYard. That's going to be a lot easier, frankly, to do, because this is really getting annoying, right? But yeah, let's see. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, going to the live stream. Come on now, come on. Come on now. All right, we're still up. We're still going live. Maybe if my voice isn't synced up, then who really cares? As long as you guys are listening to the show, I guess that's kind of all that matters. I can go into my YouTube and I can monitor the questions that way. Just got a lot of broadband open. Key is to close a lot of programs around you. So if you close the programs around you, then you should be okay. So I'll try my best to read the comments here. Have my phone in front of me, doing it the old-fashioned way. Hope everybody is doing well. I hope that everybody is doing well. We got a question about Cam Newton. Why isn't Cam Newton signed as a quarterback? He's a quarterback for the Panthers, former quarterback for the Panthers, former MVP, and overall as a number one pick. I mean, other than that 1 year, he's been a pretty solid quarterback, but he hasn't exactly been a sensational quarterback, Cam Newton. Gosh, dang it. Gonna go on YouTube, gonna read this damn chat. Cam Newton's been all right, but he hasn't exactly been the quarterback that we've all expected him to be. And I think Cam Newton is shot. I think that he's done. He can't throw accurately anymore. He relies on being a tremendous athlete, which he was at the time. Cam Newton was a big-time athlete. Is Cam Newton a better quarterback than Andy Dalton? Does he have more accomplishments? Yes. But Andy Dalton's 32 years old. He hasn't had an injury history like Cam Newton has had the last couple of years where his shoulder's all messed up. Cam has just taken a beating during his time in the NFL. And the question for Andy Dalton becomes, what does Andy Dalton want for his life? Does he want an opportunity to compete for a starting job? Does he want a longer-term deal? And a real interesting team that Andy Dalton could be pursued by is a team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they have a quarterback out there in Jacksonville, and that quarterback is Gardner Minshew, and Gardner Minshew is a quarterback that is a little bit small in height. He had a decent rookie season, but not an incredible rookie season. He's a 6th-round draft pick out of Washington State, and the Jaguars have a new offensive coordinator. Last year, The Jags offensive coordinator was John DeFilippo. John DeFilippo got fired last year, and now John DeFilippo, I believe, is looking for another quarterback coaching job if he's not already back with the Philadelphia Eagles. So DeFilippo, the guy, right, DeFilippo, John, is the coach out there in Chicago. And basically, Gardner Minshew was out there, and the Jaguars did okay. They kind of met expectations. Now, Minshew is really cheap, and you're going to get Minshew for the long haul. So you have to consider, do you want Gardner Minshew for the long haul, or do you want Andy Dalton for the long haul? Now, the thing about Dalton is you know more about Dalton. I don't think Dalton will completely suck, but he's not going to be a great quarterback. Gardner Minshew has a much higher ceiling than Andy Dalton. But with Dalton, you again gain more consistency when you have Dalton. So that's really the question for the Jaguars is, do they want Gardner Minshew or do they want Andy Dalton? Gardner Minshew or Andy Dalton. Those are the two options in Jacksonville. And the thing that's also intriguing at that position is that they signed a quarterback by the name of Jake Luton, who's from Oregon State. He's 6'6". Now he's different. He's different than he's a lot different than he's a lot different, I'll tell you, than Andy Dalton. Man, this video, it's not going well, put it that way. I appreciate everybody tuning into the show tonight. It's kind of a slow night. I wish the NBA playoffs were on. I wish a lot of things were on the docket. I really wish that we could get playoff basketball. That's something that I really miss a lot during April because the shows are starting to drought out. And there's a lot of things that are happening right now in the world. And there's nothing really, there's no entertainment options that you can kind of sink your teeth into. It'd be really nice if there was NBA basketball to analyze each night. You have the Vegas Last Dance. But going back to whether I would want Dalton or Minshew, I believe that I would want Minshew. Now, it could be a huge mistake. Because the thing is now about Gardner Minshew, and now I could read the comments. You wish that the PGA Tour was on. I love the PGA Tour as well, Chris Senor. You're out there in San Diego. There's a lot of good golfers that live that are from California. Ricky Fowler's from California. Bryson DeChambeau. I love the PGA Tour as well. Andy Dalton going to the Patriots. Now, I view the Patriots a little bit differently, RK. I view Jarrett Stidham as a really good quarterback to build around. I think Minshew has a lot more talent than Gardner Minshew does. Or Jarrett Stidham has a lot more talent than Minshew, because the thing is about Jarrett Stidham, he's 6'4". He's a very twitchy quarterback. He has a quick release. He's very accurate. He's mobile, and he's a lot taller than Minshew, has a lot stronger arm, can make throws that Gardner Minshew cannot make. Jarrett Stidham is the franchise quarterback there. They should not sign Cam Newton. It'll just stunt the growth of Stidham. And then, if you're the Patriots, why would you want to mess up Jarrett Stidham? It's not like the Patriots are going to be drafting Trevor Lawrence. They're not the Washington Redskins. They're not the Chicago Bears. They're not a team that's going to absolutely tank and be terrible. I think even the Jets can be a candidate for Trevor Lawrence as well. So, and Kid Blue knows that Jarrett Stidham's been a favorite. All right, we're a little bit, a little bit synced up, a little bit off. But anyway, if I'm the Patriots, to kind of summarize the conversation, I'm sticking with Stidham. If I'm Andy Dalton, I'm trying to go to Jacksonville. I would even compete with Gardner Minshew for the job. I would take like maybe a $10 million job. Like I would maybe take a real cheap offer. You know Jay Gruden there. Of course, if Dalton gets signed by the Patriots, that'll be tremendous. Or Dalton can wait until somebody gets injured midseason. Actually, you know, Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback, but Dalton is a lot cheaper than Kirk Cousins. Could Andy Dalton compete with a Derek Carr quarterback room? I'm not sure that that's going to happen. Where else could Dalton go? I mean, the Raiders they're always a possibility in the quarterback market. Trying to think around the league. I think Matt Ryan. I think his days are numbered. I look at the Detroit Lions, and the Lions are kind of developing into a running team. That's what the Lions are doing with DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson. They select Logan Sternberg, who's a big moose at the guard position. He'll just maul people to death. So Detroit is looking to build a power offense to keep that shitty defense off the football field. Great question by Chris Senior. How am I feeling? About the LA Chargers? I really like the LA Chargers. Now, the thing is, they're moving into a new stadium. You got a new quarterback. Let's hope that that it's still going on, right? That the stream's going on. You got a new quarterback going to the Chargers. You got a new stadium, Chris Senior. Got a new stadium, and I just, the expectation for the Chargers, Chris, is that you're playing in a division now where you got the Broncos with Drew Lock, who could possibly be the next great quarterback in the NFL. People are hyping up Drew Lock a lot, and it's not healthy for Drew Lock and his development whatsoever, Chris. It's not. So the way that I look at the Chargers is you got a great defense. I mean, on paper, the defense, you got Derwin James. You now have Kenneth Murray at the linebacker position. Inside, you added somebody inside. Maybe it was from who did you add inside? You added somebody really good inside on that defensive line. But outside, you got Ingram and Bosa. Now, Bosa isn't what his brother is, and a lot of these guys are just names on paper, but you got Hayward, you got to develop Nasir Adderley. Jerry Tillery wasn't developed whatsoever. He was a massive failure last year. I think I think Justin Herbert is ready to start at quarterback, and you got to start getting Herbert ready because you got the Kansas City Chiefs, you got Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler is still young enough. There's no reason to start Tyrod Taylor. He's not a quarterback that I believe that you're going to win games. If Herbert's struggling that much, Tyrod starts like 3 games, and it's the same situation as Cleveland. But if you're a quarterback, I think it's better to take live bullets and figure it out. Justin Herbert, he had to overcome a lot of coaching changes at Oregon. And I don't see any reason why Justin shouldn't start. I mean, get the failures out of the way. If you're not mentally tough enough to play the position, you're not mentally tough enough to play the position. It's not like he's Jacob Eason, where Jacob Eason, it was kind of a mess in college and he wasn't very good. And Jacob Eason's a 4th-round pick, and Phillip Rivers is a legendary quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is a journeyman quarterback. The Colts are in win now with Phillip Rivers. The Chargers are not in win now. Exactly, Alex. I completely agree. Exactly. I completely agree. I think the Chargers defense a little bit overrated because on paper it looks great, but for some reason it's not great. Chemistry-wise, that team's just not very good. It kind of quit on it last year. Alex Sports in the house. I saw Alex actually. He was on a live stream. This guy, Spotlight Sports. I'm going to try to go on the stream next week. And I think we're syncing up a little bit better. But what I was going to say, though, is he asked about Cam Newton, I believe. Where should Cam Newton sign? Cam Newton's got to go to a win-now team, so I'm really thinking about where Cam Newton would fit in a very win-now situation. Got to look at a great defense. The Patriots are one of the only quarterback openings. I think the Steelers is not a bad option for Cam because he can compete with Big Ben, and if Big Ben's not good, Cam Newton can come in there. And then even next year, if Big Ben retires, Cam Newton can come in there. He's a very good kind of backup quarterback. Also, the Redskins. Ron Rivera needs respectability. You have Dwayne Haskins there, who, was taken number in the first round at the 15th overall pick. But, the coaches, I don't know if Ron Rivera really trusts Dwayne Haskins. So if Cam Newton were to go to the Redskins, it would provide competition there between Cam Haskins and Ron Rivera knows Cam Newton. But other circumstances where Cam Newton can go and play, you have Miami. I don't really see that working. Atlanta with Matt Ryan is interesting. You can use Cam Newton in packages. Atlanta's a team that I think is in the middle of nowhere. Their defense isn't good enough. Their offense has some skill position. They have no running game whatsoever. I mean, I know Todd Gurley just signed there, but that offensive line is still disgraceful, and it's not changing anytime soon. It's kind of like Jerry Reese, where they selected Lindstrom last year out of Boston College, a guard. They selected a right tackle from Washington in the first round last year. Both of those guys have gotten injured and failed. And Atlanta just has never had a running game. And then you have a very immobile quarterback in Matt Ryan. I actually think Cam Newton there, I mean, if Dan Quinn kind of wants to save his job, and I know that there's a whole rivalry going on there, but I look at Cam, and I don't think Cam's going to succeed. I think Matt Stafford has a better chance to succeed because now you have two really good backs with Johnson and Swift, and you're going to be running the football a lot. You got Hawkinson, who just needs to stay healthy. You could throw the ball to Galladay. I mean, Stafford is poised to actually bounce back and play pretty well. Sports Critic. Yeah, I'm excited to go on your channel, man. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of injuries last year. Exactly. A lot, and the team just kind of quit on the season. But yeah, now we talked a little bit about Andy Dalton, the Jaguars. If you sign Dalton to $80 million if you sign him to $80 million for 4 years, you're getting a really cheap Andy Dalton. That could really be enticing. Okay, watch that. Might be even better now. Okay. So once you delete a lot of stuff on your computer, the stream will be healthier. I don't know, Chris. You got to get in your young quarterback. You got to get in Justin Herbert. Marcus Levy, how you doing? I really didn't like the Eagles selecting Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I believe that might be the worst pick in the entire draft because are they trying to? I do know who Cole McDonald is. Are the Eagles trying to take Carson Wentz's job away by getting Jalen Hurts? I don't even believe Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback in the NFL. He wasn't good in college. Tua took over his job. He has real issues with his release. His arm strength is very overrated. He's not very fast. He's just not that good of a prospect. I mean, James Morgan, Jacob Eason, they are just better prospects in general. But I mean, for Carson Wentz, you get the Hightower kid out of Boise, who's actually a pretty good pick. You take Marquise Goodwin, and you only give up a 6 for Goodwin. So those are good moves. The back half of the draft was a lot better. But still, Jalen Hurts, I don't believe Jalen Hurts is going to have a future in the NFL whatsoever. You selected Mason Rudolph for your second overall pick, or second round pick, which is a real mess. Jalen Reagor has issues with drops. Justin Jefferson would have been a lot better pick. So the Eagles, I really think the Eagles now, when you look at the Cowboys and the Giants kind of coming on, but you really look at Dallas, if Dallas re-signs Prescott, they get Lamb, they get Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott. They also draft a center that they desperately needed. They get Gallimore. They get Trevon Diggs. They had a really successful draft, and McCarthy's a pro. And I believe with the shortened offseason, I believe actually Dallas can win the NFC East. Now, that's not that big of a stretch, but I believe the NFC East sucks like it did last year. And I would say that the NFC East, that the Eagles are probably going to get beat by the Cowboys. The Giants, I'm thinking maybe 7-9, 8-8. That would be very good. Just want to see competitive football from the Giants. And I know Marcus is I'm not predicting the Cowboys for the Super Bowl. Their defense is not good enough. They're paper tigers. They have people on defense, but, Mike Nolan, their defense isn't elite. Now, a team that really is a good Super Bowl pick is the Vikings. They're getting completely undervalued now. I mean, the Vikings, you look at their pass rush. They have James Lynch out of Baylor. You get Dye off the edge. You have the guy, you got DJ Woonham from South Carolina. I mean, you just have so many people off the edge that could be really good. Really good. Bradley, I'm sorry, man, but I'm just talking about him as a professional. I'm not talking about Jalen personally. I don't think Jefferson's a slot. He's got to play on the outside if he's going to be elite. But also, Rager is a slot receiver. Exactly. Well, you look at the deep threat, I guess Hightower and Marquise Goodwin are, but you also, Brandon Ayuk, I think, is a much better deep threat. I mean, Ayuk has 81-inch arms. I think Ayuk's going to be a star in this league. You couldn't get him. T. Higgins also. I mean, T. Higgins is going to be quick, a better Arcega-Whiteside. Arcega-Whiteside also not a great pick last year by Howie Roseman. So I think the Cowboys can win that division, but I think Minnesota's poised perfectly. I think that you saw the Packers last year. The Packers, they went 13-3. They had that easy schedule. It was a very weak 13-3. Russell Wilson and that team was really, really they just had a lot of holes on that football team last year, the Seattle Seahawks. And the Packers barely survived Seattle, but the 49ers were really head and shoulders the best team in the NFC last year. And the 49ers are the odds-on favorite to easily get back. And I think that the 49ers have a wonderful chance to do that. But I believe who's going to be challenging the 49ers in that NFC championship? The Vikings are a very good pick because Minnesota was close last year. Kirk Cousins won a playoff game. And then Mike Zimmer's going for it. He realizes his defense sucks, right? That's what Mike Zimmer realized. His defense was terrible. So they go out, they make necessary moves. They let go of Griffin. They let go of Waynes, who was always overrated. They get Gladney. They get Cameron Dantzler. You get James Lynch. You get the guy DJ Woonham from South Carolina. Who else did? And then you get Troy Dye off the edge. They have a lot of pass rushers now on the Vikings. The Vikings had 15 picks in this draft, and all of them are interesting. I think they select a guard. The Vikings loaded up in this draft, and none of them were sexy picks. So they're a great, great value, the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to a championship. I think that they they're going to make the playoffs. It's going to be them and the Saints, and then they might get to the divisional round. They'll probably end up losing to San Francisco. I just see Dante Pettis, and now you have Ayuk, you have Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, Trent Taylor. I think that Pettis is just not really quick enough to get on the field. And then you have George Kittle. It's just a loaded backfield. I think Pettis can be traded for a fourth rounder if a team really wanted him. But there's just too many players there, and he's a decent player. He's just very undersized. He's not blessed with speed. He's an all right football player. I think McKinley was. KJ Hill, I still have to wait and see. The Chargers Chris, I wish you guys had more picks in this NFL draft. Alex, I agree. If they won the Super Bowl, that's just too much. Vegas right now with Gronk and all these guys and all these receivers, their running game is still not good enough. Their linebacking core is all right. Their secondary, you do have Winfield, so their defense is getting better. I have to admit, their defense is getting really good. You have Tom Brady. You're going to need Vaughn to step up. But are they better than the San Francisco 49ers? I'm not sure. Are they better than New Orleans? New Orleans still has Drew Brees. It's going to be tough to go in there. Is their offensive line going to be necessarily really, really good under Tom Brady? I think that they're a good team. I actually do. I think they're like 11-5. I think they are a playoff team, possibly division champions, but are they going to beat the 49ers? That's a real team standing in their way. Or if they have to go to Minnesota, if Minnesota's defense is cranked to 11, that's going to be tough in the NFC. The NFC is about a 3-team race. The AFC is a lot more wide open. I don't really trust Kansas City to get back to the Super Bowl, considering just the amount of I mean, Mahomes is still Mahomes, but the defense isn't exactly fantastic. It's Andy Reid. They're going to get complacent. They weren't even that solid last year in the regular season. A team that can challenge a team that can really challenge, though, Kansas City. I mean, let's really try to iron out a team that can challenge them. The Patriots can challenge them. If Stidham is up to the task, that defense could still be really good. The Indianapolis Colts can certainly challenge a Phillip Rivers. I think that they can be a division champion and worth the challenge. Denver and Drew Lock maybe can challenge, but I'm sure Denver might just be like a year away, and their defense, again, is overrated. They have a lot of names, but are they really producing at the level that the Super Bowl defense was under Wade Phillips? Not sure. I think Denver still needs to get their bearings straight, like make a playoffs first and then talk to me about getting there. Could Oakland possibly make the playoffs? Yes. I think Oakland now, their defense, if their defensive line, if Farrell, Crosby, if they could stay healthy, you got Jonathan Abram now. I like that defense. And I also like if this guy Arnett can play with Trayvon Mullen, if you can get kind of consistency there, I think that it could be interesting. The channel's about a lot of football. It's a little bit laggy tonight. Chargers competing with the Chiefs. I just think Herbert's too young. I think the offense is too young. The defense, it's a great wild card team, though. The whole AFC West is very, very talented in terms of wild cards. The AFC East, I look at the Bills. I kind of view them, it really depends. There's a ton of pressure now on Josh Allen. Drew Lock. It's kind of, the Broncos and Bills are very similar. I view them as playoffs, but, I don't know if they can really contend. The Ravens, of course, is another team, but I view the Colts as a really good pick. If their defense gets cranked up, if Taylor is really elite, I view the Colts as a team that can really compete because they have the quarterback to get it done. They have the head coach. They are battle-tested. Drew Lock is just very young. I think that Josh Allen and the Bills are maybe a better prediction. I also look at the Patriots. They're a wild card team. They institute Jarrett Stidham. You know that their defense is going to be cranked up and balling out. I think the Patriots are still a really good team out there. I don't know because they're not going to. They have Mariota now and they have Derek Carr, and that's going to be the hierarchy there. And Derek Carr now has a lot of weapons. He was on in the first half of the year. He fell off in the second half. The Raiders didn't go up to draft a quarterback. They took Henry Ruggs. I think that they're still like 8-8, 9-7 kind of wild card team that certainly is a playoff candidate. They were last year, and now the receiving room with Lynn Bowden and going to be exciting in Oakland for sure. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody coming in here. The stream was a little bit laggy. Might have another a live stream tonight with Sports Doc, but going to go back and listen to it. And I really want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Might do a Last Dance kind of show. But I didn't talk about Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. I might save that for another episode. That's clearly the big talk. Is Jordan Rodgers, it's Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers is clearly the big talk. But I always enjoy talking football, and Henry Ruggs is a great kid, and I hope that Henry Ruggs can really produce this year. But anyway, it was fun. I appreciated coming on the stream, guys, and thanks for chilling. And we'll talk